global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. This is one video every Nigerian must watch and share, and it's coming from a student advocate of Nigeria, that's Falana, son, who took time to explain the dire situation Nigeria and Nigerians are in. The three arms of government are in a very funny situation. Judiciary seems to have been fully captured, and it looks as if even the legislature are already one arm towards fully being captured. In fact, he narrated a lot of story of how the international community is viewing Nigeria right now, especially when he went for a program in Senegal, press conference of Senegal, and what they said about Rivers State, though what was trending in that country was the fact that Nigeria coup has taken place in Nigeria, how Rivers State, and how he couldn't explain the democracy that we are practicing in Nigeria. And they were wondering, what kind of democracy is that, where a president suspends a governor? Rivers State became a case study for all Africans to observe. It's becoming something else. He took time to explain the dire situation we are in, how judiciary may have been fully captured, and the only solution left for Nigerians and for Nigeria to do. Other than that, we are probably in a situation where, let's watch this video, hear from his mouth as he narrates where we are in right now. Natasha's case is another case entirely in this video, where he explained word for word what the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, said in the face of the law. And this is one person who is also a lawyer. Senate President Godswill Akpabio is a lawyer. And he said, concerning the face of the law over the issue of Natasha, what he opened his mouth to say. Let's watch this video. Come back for more.
A court of justice. Now, these stories are important for those of us who still go to the court. Now, just to let you know, while I'm telling this story, a few things are happening in our country right now. The most serious is emergency rule. I was in Senegal for a meeting 2 weeks ago, meeting of the Media Foundation for West Africa. So while I was in the meeting, somebody rushed in and said there has been a coup in Nigeria. So I rushed down. They speak French, you know. He didn't quite hear the news. So I went out to find out. I then rushed back. No, it wasn't a coup. Emergency rule has been posted in one state, and they appointed an administrator. The president appointed, and they said, is the president unelected? I said elected. What of the governor? I said the governor is elected. How can you remove him? And then replace him with a retired soldier? Mr. Falana, what kind of democracy is that? I was utterly embarrassed. Right? And I think Audiobe has made a point. Chief Audiobe, that by appointing a former military dictator to go ahead and stage, the government may be tempting soldiers to disrupt the entire exercise. Now, for lawyers, please, when you hear any lawyer defending the emergency, I beg you, ask one question. What section of the Constitution, what section allows removal of the governor and deputy and then suspension of the legislature? Please ask, because this regime last year went to court to challenge the removal of governor of local government chairman and councillor by governors. And the Supreme Court was total by saying no governor has the power in Nigeria to remove elected chairman and councillor. And this regime was celebrating the judgment. Even though the Supreme Court even went off the track by amending the Constitution to please the executive. They rewrote section 162 of the Constitution, which stipulates that every month the statutory allocation of states of local government shall be paid into a state local government joint account. Supreme Court said no, that shall pay it directly. That judgment was delivered in July last year. As if they complied with? No. And they won't comply, if you must know. Now the point I'm making, Sunday, when you have a KBAC in power, that the judgments of court, particularly the Supreme Court, are treated with ignorance. Another case that will interest you currently The NURTW had an election in August last year. Barua was re-elected. His opponents, like Barua, went to court, National Judiciary Court. They lost. They went to the Court of Appeal. They lost. The Court of Appeal is the last court. It's the Supreme Court of Labour Matter. As I'm talking to you, as we're gathered here, Oluomo, not elected by either the members or the court. You know, court also elect people in Nigeria. He's the one in the secretariat of that building. Why Barawa is kept outside the secretariat of the building? To take over that secretariat, they invaded the place theater and killed one Nigerian. Barawa was charged with killing the person in order to get him out of the office. So he and his officers were detained as murder suspects. So by the time they came out, the secretariat had been taken over and given to somebody who never won election or won any case in court. The point I'm making, the regime chooses and picks whichever judgments it likes to comply with and obey. Now, I recently intervened with respect to the case of Natasha by saying that not less than 10 cases decided by Nigerian courts. I've heard that suspension of a legislator in Nigeria is illegal. Because once you do so, when you do so, you have denied the constituency representation in the parliament. That is the law. Mr. or Senator Godswill Akpabio was in the Senate under Dr. Bukola Saraki when in 2017 Senator Ali Ndume was suspended. He went to court and won the case. Godswill Akpabio was also in the Senate when in 2018 Senator Olivier Omoagege was suspended. He went to court and won his case. In any country where the rule of law operates, once there is a precedent, you comply. I understand a senior lawyer, the Senate president, when he was told, if this lady goes to court, she will win. I said, that will take time now. Let her go to court. You know that is the language in Nigeria. You know you are wrong. You say, let him go to court, let her go to court. You are not going to use your own money. You are going to use the money of the city. It is a height of impunity for a senior lawyer to ignore the judgments of the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court on any given matter. That is what is going on in Abuja. Yesterday, the governor of Kogi State, still Bodo. No, I won't go that far. They say I should call him Ododo. I call him Ododo as a lawyer. He issued an order, illegal order, that I hereby ban all rallies and meetings. And I also ban convoys of vehicles, believing that Natasha was going to come in a convoy. And the people of Kogi did all of us proud yesterday by showing, and this is the point, a people organized can never be defeated. They gathered in a mammoth crowd, a crowd that the governor could not mobilize in that state, in spite of the threat to arrest anybody who defies the order of the governor. People threw down. And when they were monitoring the roads, this lady came through the sky. You know, they couldn't ban movement of planes and helicopters. So, totally shocked and rattled, totally shocked and embarrassed. The government assigned the security forces, please arrest and question this lady for defying the order of the government. I say here, we will find the government. It's no law in Nigeria that was breached by her yesterday. As a matter of fact, under section 39 and 40 of the Constitution, which guarantee freedom of expression and freedom of association, assembly, she was only enjoying her fundamental rights by going peacefully to her community and meeting with members of our constituents. And with what we saw yesterday, you know, the so-called recall exercise, where they claim they have mobilized 250,000 people in 2 or 3 days. You know, it's a challenge. The people came out on their own. Yes, not being paid. Or did you see anybody distributing money? You could see them dancing. It was a festive mood. But you know what that lady did yesterday? Is to tell the people in Abuja, we all collectively own this country. And all of us must also take that home. Last week, about the same time, one minister in Abuja, I think the FCT minister, said, okay, ask the body of benchers to go and grab a lawyer. You know, if you want to discipline a lawyer, you will write a petition. He said, don't wait for petition. Just call him, you wrote this and discipline him. So for them, rule of law, due process, nonsensical. Now it is self-help. You know, currently, and all of us here must please help our people. The Lagos state government is currently demolishing charities occupied by the poor. But when the big people, including those in Banana Island, they call it Banana Republic, when they build without approval, the government will say they are ratifying it. But when it comes to the poor, you demolish. So one of the things we must take out of here is to defend our people. The Jakone regime built 30,000 housing units for the poor. In Lagos, middle level people. 1981, 82, over 40 years ago. All of those buildings are collapsed. Now you will now use the money of the people to build houses for the rich. And ignore and then go and demolish. You go and demolish the houses of the poor. That must stop. What idea I want to take home here? We're talking about rule of law. What I title my paper is rule of rulers, not rule of law. Rule of law means all of us are bound by the law. We are treated equally by the law. We must comply with the law, including the government. But that's not like the case in Nigeria. What you now have is rule of ruler, rule of cabinet. Whatever they say, nobody must challenge it. Again, I think I want to thank Tommy here. But 3 weeks ago, a youth corps member expressed her views about the president, about the ongoings in the country. If someone had, they were going to deal with that. Obviously, they will have extended our service. Let members of his party to the NYC headquarters. They ran away. Because the guilty are always afraid. Just last week, a student in Asaba, School of Nursing, was alleged to have sent out, in this age of science and technology, a video recording of the wife of the president, where everybody knows his father now, everybody knows his mother. So why was I calling my mother? But that was an offense. She was already queried. But because of the anger of the youths and Nigerians in the social media, it was the governor of the state who ordered the commissioner of health go and stop that Bongo exercise there. And that was how that girl was free. The point I'm making, therefore, all of us must see injustice to one as injustice to another. When we are gathered on this occasion, as I did say, when we are to bury our comrade and friend in Kaudumani, as I'm here, we are not here to celebrate his wealth. No. We are not here to find how many houses he built. We are here to celebrate his consistency, his integrity, and his principles. And it's a challenge to all of us. It's not a question of, yes, you can gather and be money forever. No. What we should do is to decide collectively here today that those things that Ika stood for, we are going to continue to demand from the government and from the enemies of our people how to reorganize our country. For those of us in Lagos, and we must start this year. They claim that Lagos is the 5th largest economy in Africa. Now, we must start with the appropriation of Lagos state budget. You understand me? All those your local governments and SCDs, SCDA, we must please, when you live here, please go and find out. Can we have a copy of your budget? Let us begin to demand accountability. Whatever they put in the budget, we must ensure that they implement. And those in Abuja, your senators and House of Representatives, in 2024, averagely, if each senator took away 500 million, this apart from their salary, they call it constituency project. That means projects for you. I just told a senior advocate yesterday in Ikeja here, Orewa, when are we going to ask our senator to account? We are going to do a letter. And each of us must also be ready to do that. There are 24 legislators in the House of Reps from Lagos, 40 people in Alausaga. We must start to ask questions. When we learn that our governor has traveled somewhere to attend a party, we must ask questions. You know what I mean? So, and this is what Yinka will have done today. Will Yinka have been keeping quiet? No. Yinka will have been joining issues with the people in Abuja. And that is why we must continue to celebrate Yinka, not once a year, every day. And the only way we can do that is to identify with the masses of our people, to shake off the heavy load that these people have imposed on our people. Please, for those of you in the social media, I beg you, increase, intensify by joining issues with them. They are juggling figures now that things are getting better. Are you not aware?
Welcome back. My colleague is in the house. You heard what the Senior Advocate of Nigeria said, Femi Falana. What's your take?
Well, he has given us a position which most Nigerians have been sharing. And this is a clear indication that where we are tilting to, if democracy is not properly protected in Nigeria, we may gradually walk into maybe dictatorial democracy, if there's anything like that, you know. Interestingly, other countries are amazed about what is going on in Nigeria, and unfortunately, it seems as though everybody is quiet and getting scared of the president. The president was employed by us. I'm shocked that some of these top politicians are getting scared. Scared for what? He was employed by Nigerians. We gave him that mandate. He said this is no more democracy. And I love the fact that a case is already on court. If you check our video, you're going to see in court, if you check our video, you're going to see that particular video where a particular lawyer with some other groups of lawyers decide to drag the president as a first defendant, Ibogite Ibas, also the 36th Attorney General of the Federation, the Attorney General of the state, and even the Attorney General of the Federation, all of them were part of it, dragged them to court, you know, over this issue. And I love how the suit was being presented, where he said they should point to him in the provision of the Constitution, where the president is given that right, you know, to suspend an elected governor. He should point it out. They should show him. That's all what he's made, the demands he's making. And if there is no provision like that in the Constitution, immediately they should reverse everything, and Ibogite should be kicked out of that position, and Fubara reinstated, and also such should not be allowed to happen again, because all of this is towards protecting the nascent democracy that we have. These guys, their high-handedness is becoming much, and I feel that that particular issue, if it's followed up by the judiciary and they do the right thing and they stop all this nonsense that they are doing, if they allow the whole thing to run its course the way it should be, I think that Fubara will be reinstated. And I mean, with what this guy, Falana had pointed out, it should bring so much shame to the judiciary, whereby it should awaken them back to that consciousness of who they are actually. They are the interpreters of the law. Nigerians now even do interpretation of the law more than the lawyers. I mean, things that are things that are pure white. Even some of the lawyers are getting angry because some of the things that you see are pure white. But these guys will come and be talking as though.
The judges that will tell you
I'm telling you, it's becoming shocking. You hear people that have
no
never stayed.
consistency in judgment.
It's so disturbing. I'm telling you. I believe that we will be able to rescue, because these guys are mere mortals. Let's not begin to look at them as if they are gods. They are picking up our distinct constitution and begin to romance around it as though they have the right. If you must sit in that position as a president, sit in that position as a governor, sit in that position as a minister, align with the constitution. We don't care who you are. One day you'll be out of that place, whether you like it or not. Another person will take over. We must maintain the dignity of democracy in Nigeria. We must respect the document that governs all of us, which is the Constitution of 1999 Constitution as amended. All of these are some of the things that he has pointed out. And I believe, God, that very soon Nigeria will get back to the position where it was before all of this nonsense. I mean, look at some of the things he had pointed out, where you will see someone who is in opposition party being dragged to God, and he wins the case without any stress. Why? Because of the independency of judiciary. As at then, this time around, we are seeing some things that are, so unbelievable happen. Immediately they know that they are going to win the case. You see all of them, they will go and sit down in the court and be looking as if they are there to influence anybody. Come on, judiciary should wake up. It's becoming so, it's becoming something that is unbelievable.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. We could go on and on. Let's meet in our comment section. What's your take?